YouTube. I remember the first murder I seen in prison. It was around about 2015. I never forget it because I just had recently found out I had an uncle that had been incarcerated since the 80s before I was even born. So we were still in the process of building whatever family bond you could build while incarcerated. So after chopping it up with my uncle for a minute, I ended up leaving the old folks dorm. I'm finna go back to my dorm. Then a thought hit my head, well, it's still early in the day on a Saturday. Go chop it up with Quan Cheatham for a minute, see what they got going on in B1. When I get over there, it's a commotion. It's only verbal though. I see a guy by the name of TJ and another guy by the name of Chill Will that slept in the dorms with us. Chill Will was an older Crip guy from Birmingham, well loved and respected, did good business. You know, he was known for, you know, getting money, but he was highly respected and loved. I mean, people ain't speak nothing but praise about him. But he hung around some questionable guys that dudes ain't like, and you know, it used to be guys anticipating this guy TJ to do any little thing, and they was ready to pounce on him or whatever. But okay, back to the murder. TJ was the only one beating his chest at Flip. That's when, you know, people get to giving you the rundown when you seeing a situation unfold. Like, he don't even owe TJ. What he talking for? Chill Will was pretty much like, yeah, man, you owe me the little money, just get the money and everything will be good. TJ called them all types of, you know, homosexuals, faggots, gay dudes, ain't even got no business talking to no mans in prison, yada, yada, yada. So that's when I heard a guy say, yeah, Flip, he gay, but he a stone cold killing. See, in prison, a lot of homosexuals are violent simply because nothing goes unseen in prison. Whatever you do in prison, people are gonna know and they're gonna talk. So what a lot of homosexuals do is they overcompensate in the physical area of fighting and whatever type of violence to show, like, I guess, hey, I'm still a man. And Flip was one of those dudes. So after all the, you know, the hurling insults and talking, Flip literally, when he got on the phone, called his mom and said, hey, mama, I'm finna kill these dudes today to day. And I guess his mom was trying to talk him out of it. He said, hey, mama, my mind made up. Flip literally threw his phone and said, hey, whoever get it can have it. Walked back up there on TJ and Chill Will. And TJ was able to get out the way. Will wasn't quick enough. And Flip viciously stabbed him. The first blow was to the head. The second was under his armpit, so I'm assuming he punctured his lungs. And the third blow was the most devastating one. He hit him in his stomach and slid the knife across. We literally could see this man's intestines hanging out. Now, all the dudes that used to hang around Chill Will, all the people that he looked out for every time he got some in for people to make money, they just stood there and watched him get viciously stabbed. The only person that had the nerve to try to stop Flip from killing Chill Will was another gay dude from Birmingham by the name of Danny Boo. Danny Boo grabbed him, you just heard Danny Boo yelling, Flip, that's enough, that's enough. So after he was able to get Flip and the police came, the police was so scared, they forgot they had their little sticks and they pepper spray. A lot of times they'll freeze up. They'll sit there and watch dudes die, get stabbed up without even trying to prevent it and wait till you basically stop stabbing the man. So, you know, after they grabbed him, whatever they got Flip, they take him to the shift office, he let them put him in handcuffs or whatever. That's when guys got Chill Will body and carried it away. And the whole point of this story was, the way the altercation went down, you'll know Chill Will wasn't the aggressor. All he said was he wanted his money. He never heard any insults, never got belligerent or hostile, and it was on the TJ. TJ, the same guy that was over there with a butcher knife, talking about he the hitman, he yada yada this, yada yada that, froze up and watched his so-called friend get viciously stabbed. And later on that night, the officers literally came down. Now I remember one of them was Officer Bird, and he said the dude Flip was in the shift office crying. He wasn't crying because he was remorseful for killing somebody. He was crying because he was mad he was not able to stab up TJ. That's the one he wanted. That's the one that ran his mouth. And he said, I killed the wrong dude. That wasn't intended for him. And you can pretty much tell by Chill Will's whole demeanor, way before that altercation, he was a pretty much laid back guy that tried to focus on the bigger picture. I'm in prison, I'm gonna get me a little money, stay out the way so I can get back home to my family. Like I said, well respected, love guy, people spoke praises of him. When they spoke on this man's name, it was complete admiration. But I said that to say this. In life, sometimes, you know, when you hanging with people and you're associated with them, y'all be places, you can feel in your gut when something going on that you don't really want a part of. I know so many guys in the county jail and prison for murder cases just because they hopped in the car or they ain't want to leave a party right then. And now they got to spend the rest of their life in prison. When you get those feelings, walk off, leave. Leave. Don't be too private to tell a guy that, hey, it wasn't even that serious. I don't want it to get physical. That's too petty. That's too petty to be ready to kill or be killed. Because a lot of times the person that has the most to lose be the one to get the worst end. However things play out, it'll be to your detriment. Even if you ain't the one that's killed and you're the one that's doing the killing. Even if you're in the right, the extent you got to go through in Alabama to show that it was self-defense, it's too many hurdles you got to jump over. Ain't no stand your ground law in Alabama. So what I'm saying, just be mindful of every situation you put yourself in and never be afraid to walk off. Never be afraid to walk off. Throw your hands up, let a dude know, hey, it ain't even that serious. I don't want no problems with you. Whoa, this ain't worth now. Want us losing our life or our freedom about. Because a guy that was worth way more than $50 was viciously killed over $50. And he wasn't even the aggressor. You know, you just was associated with a guy that was running his mouth. The same guy named TJ that knew how to get out the way when death was in front of them. So like I said, be very mindful of the situations you put yourself in. And sometimes situations like they just spontaneous, they arise out of nowhere. Never be afraid to disengage and get on.